G.K. Chesterton says that tradition is the democracy of the dead. In other words, we're giving a voice to those who have gone before us, the dead. And
Yes.
it seems that in the Roman, liturgical tradition, that all their voices are being hushed up, you know, and we're like, no, we know better. We want to do new things, new times, new cultures, and all that. And there's not the
Right.
organic development. And I like the word liturgical patrimony because you're
Mhm.
referring to the faith of your fathers,
That's
right?
right.
Pater. And
Hmm.
it just went too fast, too quick, and so much, so much good was lost. And I don't know what the answer is. I know that traditional parishes are growing and traditional orders are growing, but they're still so small
Hmm.
in the Roman when you consider how enormous the Roman Rite is. So
Yep.
I don't know what the solution is. Our family, we're members at a fraternity FSSP parish, so
Okay. Yep.
we see we see the mass in the 1962 missal, and our kids receive the sacraments according to the older rite. But so for me, it's important to
Hmm.
see that, and to give the dead their voice. Democracy of the dead. Let them vote on how church should be and how
Well,
liturgy should be.
and of course, absolutely, I think everything you say is true. And I think too, just even for instance, in our liturgical theology, it's the entrance into the liturgy is an entrance into the kingdom. And as you enter a Byzantine sanctuary,
Mm,
you are very conscientious of being part of a family history that goes back to the apostles, even back further into the history of Israel, and you're now part of that story.
yeah,
So there is that sense of continuity just visually as you enter, and I think that is an important thing to emphasize. The gospel is new, but it's also renewed.
yeah,
It's a renewed Israel. So we have connections back to the temple, to the synagogue. We understand the Old Testament in the light of Christ. So there is continuity, and there always has to be continuity, even if the church finds new ways to respond pastorally to people as it fulfills that gospel commission. We're part of
yeah.
something that goes back, and we have to respect that. So
Yeah. I mean, think about how ridiculous it would be if you went to a Eastern parish and you said, times are changed. We're going to get rid of the iconostasis. No more
yeah.
icons. Paint it over white. White the walls. All that money we spent on all these icons, white them over. No more
uh,
iconostasis. Drop the incense. Stop singing. Um, you'd have people going crazy,
yeah,
And
it
yet,
would.
for some reason, in the Roman Rite, everybody just let it happen. Not everywhere, but in
Yeah.
so many places, these radical changes happened, and I don't know. It's sad,
Well, and I
but
I
we don't want to. I
recall,
mean, we're not here to dog on the Roman
no, no, no,
tradition.
no.
Yeah,
I
but
think I think it's one of those things where, look, I don't think it's without hope.
hmm,
Even with the liturgy of Paul VI, I've seen it done beautifully, and I know that it is entirely possible to have a liturgical celebration that is a clear reference to, our the shared Catholic patrimony of all the churches, and yet is distinctly Latin or Roman. So it's being done. A lot of young priests, I think, are coming in and with a deeper awareness and appreciation for this. So the pendulum, I think, is swinging in the right direction. It will take time, and hopefully, the Eastern churches can have a voice and say, hey, you could really put an icon in that blank wall right there.
right, right,
We got some art we can
yeah,
share with you. You can use.